Hey action takers, ever felt like the world's against you? Like rejection's your middle name? Well, buckle up, because we're about to flip that script. Today we're diving into the mind-bending world of reverse psychology, rejection jiu-jitsu, and Stoic wisdom that'll have you begging for more no's. Are you ready to turn every rejection into a stepping stone to success? Let's go. In this video, we're going to unlock 13 powerful lessons that'll transform how you view rejection. We'll start by exploring the sneaky art of reverse psychology, then we'll dive into how to use rejection as your secret weapon. Finally, we'll channel the wisdom of the OG Stoic, Marcus Aurelius, to cement these lessons into your psyche. By the end of this video, you'll be itching to hear your next no. Number 1. The psychology of no. Alright, rebels, let's kick things off with a mind bender. What if I told you that no is just yes in disguise? Crazy, right? But stick with me here. Our brains are wired to resist direct commands. Tell someone not to think of a pink elephant, and bam, their mind's filled with Dumbo's cousin. This quirk of our gray matter is the secret sauce of reverse psychology. It's like a Jedi mind trick, but instead of waving your hand, you're planting an idea that grows all on its own. It's not about manipulation. It's about understanding human nature and using it to your advantage. Think about it. When was the last time someone told you that you couldn't do something and you immediately wanted to prove them wrong? That's reverse psychology in action, my friends. It's tapping into our natural rebellious streak, our inner 2-year-old who just learned the word no. But here's the kicker. It's not just about others. You can use this on yourself too. Ever notice how setting a New Year's resolution often leads to failure? That's because you're telling yourself what to do. Instead, try challenging yourself. I bet you can't go a month without junk food. Watch how quickly your stubborn side kicks in. Now, I'm not saying reverse psychology is a magic wand. It's more like a finely tuned instrument. Use it too much, and people will catch on. Use it wrong, and you might push people away. But use it right, and you've got a powerful tool in your persuasion toolkit. The key is subtlety. You're not trying to force anyone's hand. You're simply presenting an alternative perspective that allows people to come to their own conclusions. It's like Inception, but instead of planting a dream, you're planting an idea. So as we dive deeper into this topic, keep this in mind. Reverse psychology isn't about tricking people. It's about understanding human nature and working with it, not against it. It's about opening doors, not pushing people through them. Ready to learn how to master this art? Let's go. Number 2. The forbidden fruit effect. Let's talk about the ultimate reverse psychology move, the forbidden fruit effect. Remember that story about Adam and Eve? The one fruit they couldn't have suddenly became irresistible. That's not just ancient history. It's human nature. This effect is so powerful, it's almost like a superpower. Tell someone they can't have something, and suddenly it's all they can think about. It's like telling a kid not to push the big red button. You might as well hand them a stepladder and walk away. But here's the genius part. You can use this to your advantage. Want to get people interested in your idea? Don't try to sell it to them. Instead, make it exclusive. Make it something not everyone can have. Watch how quickly people start clamoring to be part of it. Think about nightclubs with long lines and strict bouncers. They're not keeping people out. They're making people desperate to get in. It's the same with limited edition products or exclusive memberships. People want what they can't have. Now, I know what you're thinking, but isn't that manipulative? Here's the thing. It's only manipulative if you're using it for selfish reasons. If you genuinely believe in what you're offering, this is just a way to help people overcome their initial resistance. The key is to use this power responsibly. Don't create artificial scarcity for no reason. Instead, focus on the unique value you're offering. Make it clear why not everyone can have access, and let people's natural curiosity do the rest. Remember, the forbidden fruit effect isn't about tricking people. It's about tapping into a fundamental human desire. The desire for the exclusive, the rare, the hard to get. Master this, and you'll have people lining up to hear what you have to say. Number 3. The power of suggestion. Alright, mind hackers, let's talk about the sneaky power of suggestion. It's like planting a seed in someone's mind and watching it grow into a full-blown idea. And the best part? They think it was their idea all along. Here's how it works. Instead of telling someone what to do, you plant little breadcrumbs of thought. You ask questions, you make observations, you tell stories that lead to a conclusion without spelling it out. It's like being a thought DJ, mixing ideas until people can't help but dance to your tune. But here's the catch. You've got to be subtle. If you come on too strong, people's defenses go up faster than a cat in a dog park. The art is in making suggestions so soft, so natural, that they slip past the mental bouncer and start partying in the subconscious. Think about commercials. The best ones don't just say, "Buy our product." They show you a lifestyle, a feeling, a solution to a problem you didn't even know you had. Before you know it, you're craving that new gadget or dreaming of that vacation spot. Now, I'm not saying you should manipulate people. That's not cool, and it usually backfires anyway. Instead, use the power of suggestion to help people see new perspectives, to consider ideas they might have overlooked. It's like being a tour guide of the mind. You're not forcing anyone to go anywhere. You're just pointing out interesting sights and letting them choose their own adventure. Sometimes all people need is a gentle nudge to step out of their comfort zone. So, next time you want to convince someone of something, don't tell them what to think. Instead, ask questions that lead them to the conclusion. Share stories that illustrate your point. Paint a picture so vivid they can't help but step into it. That's the true power of suggestion. Number 4. The paradox of reverse psychology. Okay, brain benders, let's dive into something wild. The paradox of reverse psychology. It's like a mental Mobius strip, twisting and turning until you're not sure which way is up. But trust me, once you get this, you'll be unstoppable. Here's the mind blower. Sometimes the best way to get someone to do something is to tell them to do the opposite. It's like telling a kid, "Whatever you do, don't clean your room." Suddenly, they're Marie Kondoing their space like there's no tomorrow. But here's where it gets tricky. If someone knows you're using reverse psychology, it doesn't work. It's like a magician revealing their secrets. The magic disappears. So you've got to be sneaky. You've got to make it seem like you really don't want them to do the thing you actually want them to do. Think about it like this. Have you ever had a friend who's always complaining about their job? You tell them to quit, and suddenly they're defending it like it's the best job in the world. That's the paradox in action. By suggesting the opposite, you've made them realize what they really want. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't this just manipulation? Here's the thing. It's only manipulation if you're using it for selfish reasons. If you genuinely believe that what you're suggesting is in the person's best interest, then you're just helping them overcome their own resistance. The key is to use this power wisely. Don't use it to trick people into doing things they don't want to do. Instead, use it to help people overcome their fears, to push past their self-imposed limitations. It's like being a mental personal trainer, pushing people to lift heavier weights than they thought they could. Remember, the paradox of reverse psychology isn't about control. It's about freedom. It's about helping people break free from their own mental chains. Master this, and you'll be able to help people achieve things they never thought possible. Number 5. The art of the soft no. Listen up, persuasion ninjas, because we're about to unlock a secret weapon, the art of the soft no. It's like saying no without actually saying no. It's a no that feels like a maybe or even a yes. Confused? Good, that's exactly where we want them. Here's how it works. Instead of giving a hard no, you give a conditional yes. Sure, we can do that if you can find a way to double our budget. Or, that's a great idea for next year's project. See what we did there? We didn't say no, but we made the yes so difficult it might as well be a no. But here's the genius part. By not saying no outright, you're leaving the door open. You're giving the other person a challenge. And you know what happens when you challenge people? They rise to meet it. Suddenly, they're coming up with creative solutions, thinking outside the box, doing the work you wanted them to do in the first place. Think about it like fishing. A hard no is like yanking the line. The fish feels the hook and swims away. A soft no is like giving the fish some slack. It thinks it's free, but really, you're reeling it in slowly, carefully, until it's right where you want it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't this just a fancy way of lying? Not at all. You're not making false promises. You're simply presenting the reality of the situation in a way that motivates rather than discourages. It's all about framing. The key is to be genuine. Don't use the soft no as a way to avoid conflict or to string people along. Use it as a tool to encourage problem solving, to foster creativity, to push people to think bigger. It's like being a coach, challenging your team to reach new heights. Remember, the art of the soft no isn't about denial. It's about possibility. It's about turning a roadblock into a detour that leads to even better destinations. Master this, and you'll be able to guide conversations and negotiations like a pro. Number 6. The boomerang effect. All right, my ninjas, it's time to talk about the boomerang effect. No, we're not heading to Australia. We're diving into a psychological phenomenon that's so powerful, it'll make your head spin. Here's the deal. Sometimes, when you try to persuade someone too hard, they end up believing the exact opposite of what you're saying. It's like pushing a spring. The harder you push, the harder it snaps back. That's the boomerang effect in action. But here's where it gets interesting. You can use this to your advantage. Want someone to do something? Try arguing against it, but do it badly. Make weak arguments. Use faulty logic. Watch as they start poking holes in your argument, effectively persuading themselves. Think about it like reverse psychology. You're not just telling them to do the opposite of what you want. You're making them want to prove you wrong. And in proving you wrong, they're doing exactly what you wanted in the first place. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't this manipulative? Here's the thing. It's only manipulative if you're using it for selfish reasons. If you genuinely believe in what you're advocating for, this is just a way to help people overcome their initial resistance and see things from a different perspective. The key is to use this technique responsibly. Don't use it to trick people into doing things against their best interests. Use it to help people challenge their own assumptions, to think critically, to arrive at well-reasoned conclusions. It's like being a debate coach, helping people strengthen their arguments by playing devil's advocate. Remember, the boomerang effect isn't about control. It's about sparking independent thought. It's about challenging people to examine their beliefs and come to their own conclusions. Master this, and you'll be able to influence without imposing, to persuade without pushing. Number 7. The power of indifference. Buckle up, influence masters, because we're about to dive into one of the most counterintuitive techniques in the reverse psychology playbook. The power of indifference. It's like being a Zen master and a chess grandmaster all rolled into one. Here's the mind bender. Sometimes the best way to get someone interested in something is to act like you couldn't care less about it. It's the classic playing hard to get strategy, but amplified to 11. When you show indifference, you create mystery. And mystery, my friends, is irresistible. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how the coolest person in the room is often the one who seems least concerned about being cool? That's the power of indifference in action. By not chasing approval, they become magnetic. But here's where it gets tricky. You can't fake indifference. People can smell insincerity from a mile away. The key is to genuinely detach yourself from the outcome. It's about being so confident in yourself and your ideas that you don't need others' validation. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I do care. I want people to like my ideas. Here's the secret. Caring is fine, but attachment is the killer. Care about your ideas, but don't be attached to whether others accept them. That's true freedom. The power of indifference is like having a superpower. When you're not desperate for a yes, you become immune to the sting of no. And ironically, this makes people more likely to say yes. It's like you've discovered a cheat code for human interaction. Remember, this isn't about being aloof or uncaring. It's about being so secure in yourself that you can take rejection in stride. It's about creating a reality where you're the prize to be won, not the other way around. Master this, and you'll find people chasing you instead of you chasing them. Number 8. Embracing the no. All right, rejection ninjas, it's time to flip the script on one of life's most feared words. No. We're not just going to accept it, we're going to embrace it, celebrate it, and turn it into our secret weapon. Here's the revolutionary idea. Every no is actually a gift. It's feedback. It's a lesson. It's a stepping stone to your ultimate yes. Think about it. If you never heard no, how would you ever improve? How would you refine your ideas, sharpen your skills, toughen your resolve? But here's where it gets exciting. When you embrace no, you become unstoppable. Rejection loses its sting. Failure becomes your teacher, not your enemy. Suddenly, you're playing a game where you literally can't lose, because every outcome is a win. Think of it like a video game. Every no is just a level you haven't beaten yet. It's not game over, it's just a challenge to overcome. And like any good gamer, the harder the level, the more satisfying it is when you finally conquer it. Now I know what you're thinking, but rejection hurts. You're right, it does. But here's the secret. The pain is optional. It's all about how you frame it. Instead of seeing rejection as a judgment on your worth, see it as valuable data. It's like having a personal coach telling you exactly what you need to work on. The key is to get curious about the no. Why did they say no? What can you learn from it? How can you use this information to get better? It's like being a detective, but instead of solving crimes, you're solving the mystery of your own success. Remember, embracing no isn't about being a glutton for punishment. It's about being a learner, a grower, an innovator. It's about being someone who sees opportunities where others see obstacles. Master this mindset, and you'll find that no is just the starting point of your journey to yes. Number 9. The rejection reframe. Listen up, mindset magicians, because we're about to perform some serious mental alchemy. We're going to take the lead weight of rejection and turn it into pure gold. Welcome to the art of the rejection reframe. Here's the game changer. Rejection isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Every no is actually a not yet. Every door that closes is pointing you towards the one that's meant to open. It's not a roadblock, it's a redirected. But here's where it gets powerful. When you reframe rejection, you take back control. You're no longer at the mercy of others' decisions. You're the author of your own story, and rejection is just a plot twist that makes the final triumph even sweeter. Think about it like this. Have you ever had a rejection that, in hindsight, was the best thing that could have happened to you? Maybe not getting that job led you to start your own business, or that relationship ending freed you to meet your true love. That's the rejection reframe in action. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it still feels bad in the moment. You're right, it does. But here's the trick. Feel the emotion, acknowledge it, then choose your interpretation. It's like being the director of your own mental movie. You can't always control what happens, but you can always control how you frame it. The key is to make this reframe automatic. Every time you face rejection, immediately ask yourself, how is this helping me? What opportunity is this creating? It's like having a superpower that turns every negative into a positive. Remember, the rejection reframe isn't about denial or toxic positivity. It's about finding the opportunity in every setback. It's about being resilient, adaptable, and unstoppable. Master this, and you'll find that rejection isn't just something you can handle. It's something you actively seek out as a catalyst for growth. Number 10. The rejection challenge. Buckle up, fear facers, because we're about to do something crazy. We're not just going to accept rejection, we're going to chase it. Welcome to the rejection challenge, where no becomes your new favorite word. Here's the radical idea. What if, instead of avoiding rejection, you actively sought it out? What if you made it your goal to get rejected at least once a day? Sounds insane, right? But stick with me, because this is where the magic happens. But here's where it gets mind-blowing. When you seek out rejection, you rob it of its power. It's like exposure therapy for your ego. The more you face it, the less it affects you. And here's the kicker. When you're not afraid of rejection, you become unstoppable. Think about it. If you're actively trying to get rejected, every yes becomes a bonus. You've created a game where you literally can't lose. Either you get what you want, or you accomplish your goal of being rejected. It's a win-win. Now, I know what you're thinking, but isn't this just setting myself up for failure? Here's the plot twist. Failure is the point. By redefining failure as success, you flip the script on fear. It's like being a stunt person who gets paid to fall. Suddenly, falling isn't scary anymore. The key is to start small. Ask for a discount you don't expect to get. Propose a crazy idea at work. Ask that person you think is out of your league on a date. Each rejection is a victory, a badge of honor in your personal growth journey. Remember, the rejection challenge isn't about being reckless or annoying. It's about pushing your boundaries, expanding your comfort zone, and building resilience. It's about becoming someone who sees no not as an end, but as an invitation to try again, try differently, try harder. Accept this challenge, and watch as your fear of rejection melts away, replaced by an unshakable confidence. Number 11. The rejection feedback loop. Alright, growth hackers, it's time to turn rejection into your personal improvement engine. Welcome to the rejection feedback loop, where every no becomes a stepping stone to your ultimate yes. Here's the game changer. Rejection isn't just something to overcome, it's invaluable data. It's like having a focus group for your life, giving you real-time feedback on what's working and what isn't. And the best part? It's completely free. But here's where it gets powerful. When you treat rejection as feedback, you transform from a victim into a scientist. You're no longer failing, you're experimenting. Each rejection is a hypothesis tested, bringing you one step closer to cracking the code of success. Think about it like this. If Thomas Edison had given up after his first failed attempt at the light bulb, we'd all be sitting in the dark. Instead, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the rejection feedback loop in action. Now I know what you're thinking, but it's hard to be objective when it feels personal. You're right, it is. But here's the trick. Detach your ego from the outcome. You're not being rejected. Your current approach is. And that's great news because you can always change your approach. The key is to get curious about your rejections. Ask for feedback. Analyze patterns. What can you learn? What can you improve? It's like being a detective, but instead of solving crimes, you're solving the mystery of your own success. Remember, the rejection feedback loop isn't about beating yourself up. It's about continuous improvement. It's about failing forward, learning fast, and adapting quickly. Master this, and you'll find that rejection isn't just something you can handle. It's your secret weapon for rapid growth and ultimate success. Number 12. The Stoic perspective on rejection. Attention, time travelers. We're about to take a journey back to ancient Rome to learn from one of the greatest minds in history, Marcus Aurelius. Buckle up, because this Stoic emperor is about to drop some wisdom bombs that will revolutionize how you see rejection. Here's the mind bender. According to Stoic philosophy, it's not events that upset us, but our judgments about them. In other words, rejection itself isn't painful. It's our interpretation of rejection that causes suffering. Boom. Mind blown, right? But here's where it gets powerful. If our judgments cause our pain, that means we have the power to change those judgments. We can choose to see rejection not as a personal failure, but as a natural part of life, like the changing of the seasons. Think about it like this. Does a tree get upset when it loses its leaves in autumn? Of course not. It's just part of the natural cycle. Marcus Aurelius would say our rejections and setbacks are no different. They're just part of the ebb and flow of life. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a tree. I have feelings. You're right, you do. But here's the Stoic secret. You don't have to be controlled by those feelings. You can acknowledge them, then choose to act based on reason rather than emotion. The key is to focus on what you can control. You can't control whether someone accepts or rejects you, but you can control your efforts, your attitude, and your response. It's like being the captain of a ship. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Remember, the Stoic perspective isn't about suppressing emotions or being cold. It's about finding inner peace and strength regardless of external circumstances. It's about becoming someone who can face any rejection, any setback, with calm resolve and unwavering purpose. Channel your inner Marcus Aurelius and watch as rejection loses its sting, replaced by an unshakable inner strength. Number 13. Practical Stoicism for handling rejection. Alright, modern Stoics, it's time to bring ancient wisdom into the 21st century. We're about to turn Marcus Aurelius's philosophical insights into practical, actionable strategies for handling rejection like a boss. Here's the game plan. We're going to use 3 core Stoic practices to transform how we deal with rejection. First up, negative visualization. Sounds fun, right? But stick with me, because this is where the magic happens. Negative visualization is all about imagining the worst-case scenario. But here's the twist. Instead of freaking out about it, you realize you can handle it. Rejection from your dream job? Imagine it, feel it, then ask yourself, could I survive this? Spoiler alert, the answer is always yes. Next up, we have the dichotomy of control. This is all about focusing your energy on what you can influence and letting go of what you can't. You can't control whether someone accepts your proposal, but you can control how well you prepare and present it. It's like being a gardener. You can't control whether a seed grows, but you can create the best conditions for growth. Finally, we have amor fati, love of fate. This is the ultimate Stoic power move. Whatever happens, good or bad, you embrace it as if you had chosen it. Rejection becomes not just acceptable, but desirable, because it's an opportunity for growth, a chance to prove your resilience. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds great in theory, but how do I actually do this? Here's the key. Practice, practice, practice. Start small. Apply these principles to minor rejections and setbacks. As you build your Stoic muscles, you'll be able to handle bigger challenges with ease. The beauty of these Stoic practices is that they're like mental martial arts. The more you use them, the stronger and more resilient you become. Rejection stops being something that happens to you and becomes something that happens for you. A chance to practice your Stoic skills and grow stronger. Remember, practical Stoicism isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about gaining mastery over your reactions, finding tranquility in chaos, and turning obstacles into opportunities. Master these techniques, and you'll not just handle rejection, you'll thrive on it, using it as fuel for your personal growth and success. And there you have it, action takers. We've journeyed through the mind-bending world of reverse psychology, turned rejection into our secret weapon, and channeled the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. You're now armed with 13 powerful lessons to transform how you view and handle rejection. Remember, every no is just a step on the path to your ultimate yes. Embrace rejection, seek it out, learn from it. Let it be the fuel that propels you towards your goals. And when the going gets tough, channel your inner Stoic. Focus on what you can control. Visualize the worst to realize it's not so bad, and love whatever fate throws your way. Now it's time for you to put these lessons into action. Go out there and get rejected. Seek out those no's, knowing that each one is making you stronger, wiser, and closer to your dreams. The world is waiting for you, rejection ninjas. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and conquer. Remember, in the grand game of life, it's not about avoiding rejection, it's about how you play the hand you're dealt. So play it with confidence, play it with purpose, and above all, play it like the unstoppable force you are. Now go forth and turn those rejections into your greatest victories.